Over here, Aloy. We would come out here to tend to the garden. Sometimes I needed fresh air. Other times we would simply sit and watch the sunrise. So when we returned from Gemini, it seemed fitting that he be laid to rest here. Now he can always look out at Plainsong and further east to the Nora Sacred Lands.
He would have liked that.
He often spoke of his sister, Vala. He said she used to gather her favorite golden blooms and tie them to her spear. Their mother called it useless, but Vala was stubborn.
Yeah, she seemed like that.
It wasn't easy. But I tracked down the flower. Gathered its seeds. As verdant limbs wither, roots rot in snow, still the sea rises, as certain as stone. From death follows new life. So it is with the land. And so it is with us. I'm with child, Aloy. I was going to tell him when he got back from Gemini. Instead, one day, I'll bring our child here. We'll sit among the blooms and watch the sunrise.
I never got to tell him. To thank him. For saving my life, sure, but also for not giving up on me.
He always knew.
Goodbye, Varl. I promise to look after them. I'll try to visit again when I can. But for now, I need to go to the fabrication terminal to install the new override on my spear. I'll use it on the Sunwing, and get ready for an entrance Regalla will never forget.
I'm gonna clean my gear later. I could do yours if you want.
Override installed. Now to find a Sunwing. I think there are some roosting at the top of the mountain.
Just you wait, Varl. We're taking those space slugs down.
Keep moving. Okay, I need to find a sunwing to override. Better head up the mountain. Good. There are sunwings up here. We'll have to approach them quietly. Look like they can catch the sunlight. Probably a fast flyer, too. Got it. Whoa! Head rush. Hilda, I'm in the air.
Then you'll want to pick up an energy cell on one of the ancient Horus Titans. But first you must send out a pulse to activate them. I've sent you the necessary software. To deploy it, you'll have to override one of the communication machines you refer to as Tallnecks. There's one in the middle of the desert that should do nicely.
On it. There's a Tallneck. Need to get on top of its head. Now, how to land this thing. Made it. Okay, Tilda. I've overridden the Tallneck.
Good. And the energy cells are now primed. Simply pick one up on a Horus. The nearest one should be northwest of your position. Dropping it on Regala's machine should produce quite a spectacle.
Thanks for the assist.
I told you, I want to help.
Whoa! I'm gonna have to get used to that. Reinforcements, maybe. Heading for the Grove. I hope the colonies knock There's the energy cell. Right on the Titan's back. Got the cell. Now on to the Grove. The pulse from the Tallneck should have reactivated all the energy cells in the region. I should be able to pick up more from the Horus I fell to. Pretty useful, even after I deal with Regala. Go.
Regala's inside. Kara will soon be dead. It's all over, Chaplain.
I gotta drop it now. Here it goes.
It's Aloy!
She flies on the wings of the Ten.
The tide has turned! Push through! End of the line, Hakon. Now on your knees, and I'll give you the death you didn't have the spine to give me.
They're down! The machines! All of them! They're down!
What? How's that possible?
Regala! Enough bloodshed! Let's settle this. You and me.
Easy to say when you're atop a machine.
Well, that was just to get your attention. I don't need any help to take you down.
Fine. I accept your challenge. And once I'm done with you, I'll get to finish the slaughter.
We'll see about that.
The duel is set. Let none interfere.
We're sneaking around.
Tails behind!
Alright, so that's how it's gonna be.
This is where it ends!
Yeah, it is.
I will rise above! I will tell. Your skin shall part! Your blood shall flow! Here I am again, on my knees before bootlets and cowards. Go ahead, run me through.
Shut your mouth, traitor.
It was you who flew in on the wings of the Ten. You who challenged her. By our rights, you must decide her fate. I spared her once, but only made things worse. She was the best of my marshals. What a waste.
She's dangerous, all right. But maybe that's exactly what I need.
Cowards! What more do you have to conspire about?
Whether you live or die. You led a rebellion that tore a tribe apart. All for bloodlust and revenge. Maybe the only thing you deserve is to die right here. Or maybe that fury can be directed at the real enemy.
You want to ally with her? How can you even trust her?
Despite all that she's done, she's never been one to break her word.
And will she give it?
I won't beg for my life. Decide.
I'm not here to forgive you for your crimes. But there's another battle ahead. Against an enemy more powerful than anything you can imagine. And I need people. A squad. That's willing to do whatever it takes.
I don't want your mercy.
It's not mercy. The battle I'm talking about will be charging into a nightmare.
A better death than this? Yes. My blood is yours. Your enemies are mine.
Meet us at our stronghold, in the mountains near Plainsong.
You mean to send her alone? Without even an armed guard?
She does not need it.
I will be there. You have my word.
I'll hold you to it.
Chief, there's something you both need to see. In the throne room. He surrendered to our guards outside the grove. Claims he has an urgent message for the Outlander who defeated Regalla.
So, state it.
It's for her alone. From an interested party.
I'm gonna need some privacy.
Clear the room. Put him with the rest of Regalla's soldiers.
I'll see you back at base.
You saved the tribe. Let me help you with your mission.
No. With Regalla gone, you have a chance to build the future you dreamed of. So get to your task.
Then at least allow me to give you this. Armor for the battle ahead. May it keep you safe.
Thank you.
Do you have any idea what you've just done?
Oh, it's a pleasure to see you too, Silence.
Congratulations on your victory. You saved the Tenakth for a few weeks. Unfortunately, you've doomed the entire planet as well.
Wrong. I don't need a Tenakth army to defeat the Zeniths.
Oh, Aloy. Have you learned nothing about the enemy we're up against?
More than you, hiding whatever hole you found. My idea is just better than anything you ever came up with.
Go on.
No, not here. We're doing this my way. Face to face, and with the weapon you've developed.
And why would I agree to that?
Because I'm your only way of beating the Zeniths, and getting the copy of Apollo that's on their ship. So meet me at my base. Mountains west of Plainsong. Time to submit to the inevitable silence and follow the person who actually knows what she's doing. Don't be late. Tilda, you there? I did it. Silence is on board, so head to my base.
impressive. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Now that I can fly, I might want to see what else I can do before I head back.
Charging at an enemy blade in hand? I feel like I need to do more. To the wings of the Ten.
Be proud. Regala came for victory and left in defeat.
Hey, Mr. Know-It-All is here. You know, your focus buddy who never smiles. I didn't know what to do with him, so I had him wait in your room.
Got it. Thanks. Well, Sylens, looks like you finally found a door you could open without me.
I'm glad it's there, actually. It kept me from having to mingle with the company you keep. But enough prattle. I believe you owe me an explanation. Your plans for the Zenith base?
You're right. I do owe you. My spear in your throat for deceiving me again. At the Hades Proving Lab.
I doubt you asked me here for that kind of reckoning.
No. Right now, I need your help. So I'm giving you one final chance. But if you ever betray me again, I will kill you no matter what the circumstance. Understood?
Very well. Though we'll both face a decidedly short future if you can't get us inside that base.
Aloy, your other guest is here. She's, coming to you.
Thanks. Good timing. The truth is, I can't actually get us into the base. But she can.
The company you keep is even worse than I thought.
Not a fan of surprises, are you? Oh, look. That must be your little invention.
Does the weapon work? Without self-destructing?
Of course it does. I've eliminated the imperfections and greatly improved its design and output.
How can we be sure?
Care for a demonstration?
Enough, both of you. We're in this together, at least for now. Go talk to Erend. Tell him I said to give you rooms of your own. I'll come see you when I get a chance.
Oh, no. You first.
Gotta get everyone in the control room so Tilda can tell us what she knows about the Zenith base.
You know, we've never played Machine Strike together. Aloy, It appears that I'm glad to see you're okay. I heard you gave the Tanakh. I was half expecting you to burst in through the ceiling.
Sorry to disappoint. Have you talked to any of our new friends?
Erend and I tried speaking to Sylens, but apparently our tribal prattle is unnecessary.
Charming, isn't he? How's Aaron doing?
For a moment there, he thought he'd lost both you and Varl. But he never truly succumbed to despair. Guess that Oseram's stubbornness comes in handy sometimes.
Ready to head over to the Zenith base?
Whatever comes.
Thoughts on our new Zenith acquaintance?
I'd say she smells like death, but even death smells of she's more like a cold piece of metal. Bent on repelling all semblance.
She's definitely. I have to go.
I'll make sure Aaron doesn't punch Sylens in the face.
Thanks.
Hey!
Wish I could say we don't need them. Even Regalla.
Yeah. Enemy of my...
Right. I guess Sylens is keeping to himself.
I was hoping he'd give me an excuse to hammer his sorry ass.
Please don't.
You telling me you wouldn't want to get just one good hit on that after everything he's done?
Sure. Later. Right now, You,
I tried. I don't think even a hot forge could... And you say she wants to help?
I think so. Doesn't look like any of our guests are making trouble.
Yet. So, Kotallo tells me you flew. I've been busting my balls trying to learn to read. You're out there having all the fun.
Don't worry. You'll be getting all the fun you can handle soon.
Looking forward to it.
I better get going.
Oh, you know where to find me.
You flew? Kotallo told me. You know what? I don't even know why I saw we have visitor. Does this mean we're ready to take the fight to the Zeniths?
Almost. Are you okay?
I was wondering, is it... She seems angry. The kind of angry that...
Don't worry. We're going to point that anger in the right direction. The Zeniths.
If you say so.
I hope our new guests have been...
The Sylens. He's the one who built the weapon that can take down...
He is. Though I wouldn't expect him to answer any questions about it. He refuses to dole out his secrets to us lesser mortals.
Oh.
You know that special part of us that makes us warm, kind, welcoming?
Our... spirit?
Yeah. He was born without that. You sure you're okay going on this? I know things must be happening pretty fast for you.
I've already braved oceans and madmen who thought they were ancestors reborn. Why not a few immortals with lethal drones at their command, too?
Guess the more the merrier. I suppose you saw that Tilda is here. Our very own Zenith.
I almost went up to her to ask her, well, every question. Every diviner I know would kill to get 5 minutes with one of the old ones. But now that she's here, all I feel is a vague unease. I don't know if I'm scared of finding out more uncomfortable truths, or probably both.
I need to wrap up a few
I'll be ready when...
Did you need...
before I forget, I watered those plants for you.
This place smells wrong. No sand or wind, only cold steel. And the others up there, your squad.
They can hold their own. And as for this base, it may not be what you're used to, but it is a shelter.
Call it what it is. A cage.
You came here on your own.
For the battle you promised. So for now I wait in my cage for your word. Tell me when to strike.
The whole time I've been in the West, I've been fighting you and your rebels. I'd at least like to know why.
You were among the enemy. What more is there to know?
Why did you do it?
Dorak, Jiroka, Makalo, and the Karja pushed into the desert to raid our people. My brother's squad was among the first to intercept them. But the Karja captured them, strung them up, and burned them alive as an example. It was too late. I found them by the sound of their screams.
So you wanted vengeance?
Vengeance? No. I wanted devastation. To tear down the Karja's cities and drown the land in blood. Hunt down every last survivor and grind their bones until the sky chokes on the dust. But my chief betrayed me. Betrayed the Tenakth.
How did Hekarro betray you?
Hekarro called on the clans to resist the Karja's red raids. But we did more than just defend. We hunted them, and they fled as children before a pack of claw striders all the way to their border. There we ripped down their stone walls. Their domain was ours for the taking. But when it came time to push on, Hekarro ordered us to fall back. What soldier retreats when slaughter is at hand?
The kind who wants peace for their people.
Peace is just a lull between vendettas. But I thought my chief had greater tactics in mind, so I stood by him, even when he allowed that filthy Karja to join our ranks.
Fashav.
I enjoyed watching him die at the embassy. He should have been put down when we first captured him on the field. Instead, Hekarro made him a marshal.
Fashav told me how he became a marshal. He earned it just like any Tenakth.
It was an insult. No Outlander can ever deserve to wear our armor, bear our marks. And then a Karja messenger was brought before us? That's when I knew. I had to run my blade through Hekarro and drag his treacherous corpse to the gates of the sun.
What happened when the Karja messenger appeared before Hekarro?
The quivering priests bore a message from their new king. No more war. No more raids. Suddenly the Karja wanted to talk peace. An embassy at the very fortress we tore down? A true Tenakth would never take a Karja truce. Their blood exists to be spilled. But Hekarro lapped up the priest's message. He showed himself a Karja-loving traitor when he
and lost.
His mercy was just another sign of his weakness. I vowed never to rest until the debt was repaid, with him on his knees before me. So with an army of soldiers and machines at my back, I returned. The day you got in my way.
The deal you made. Override tech in exchange for an assault on the Zenith base. How did Sylens approach you?
That name means nothing to me. My agreement was with Oseram mercenaries.
So all this time, you didn't even know who you were really dealing with? And you trusted a group of Outlanders?
If it was a trick, I would have crushed them. But they offered me the chance to run the Carja down with machines. The terror in your enemy's eyes when they see you charge. You know what I'm talking about. I bet you felt it.
I don't think so. What about your end of the deal? Would you have honored it?
Had I killed Hekarro and become chief, these Zeniths would have been the first of the tribe's victories. But because of you, my people will continue to consort with the enemy. A tribe of weaklings.
Because of me, hundreds of Tenakth won't throw away their lives in a battle they can't win. Are you really going to fight alongside me?
I have no reason to betray you.
Really?
I failed to kill Hekarro, failed to eliminate you. No Tenakth would follow me now. The Carja remain out of my reach, cowering behind their walls. All I have left are the screams of those long dead and unending rage. So show me where to bury it.
All right. I guess we'll both face the ends.
Ever since you got in my way, I've wanted to see your bones burned white beneath the sun. But if I'm to die in battle, then it might as well be with the one who flew with the wings of the Ten.
I'll let you know when it's time to move out.
There you are. Well done, Aloy. Despite you're truly a shining example of Liz's fortitude.
I've been thinking about what you said at your house. How you were friends with Elizabeth. It was more than that, wasn't it?
Perceptive as ever. You're right, we were together for a time.
Okay, so... what happened?
I was an orphan. I had always been alone. By my 30s, I was starting to wonder if that was simply my fate in life. And then I met Liz. We kept running into each other at conferences. We'd have coffee. At some point, it became drinks. I thought it was just shop talk, an exchange of ideas, but then I was surprised at how much I looked forward to seeing her. Soon we were flying halfway across the world every other week just to meet up. For the first time, I didn't feel lonely. I could imagine a future where I wasn't. I think Liz felt the same way at first. She had lost her mother a few years back. I filled a void for her. I know I did. But as time passed, it seemed as though she wanted less when I wanted more. And so we ended things.
So helping me, restoring Elizabeth's dream, it's what,
a second chance, yes. I made a mistake leaving Earth while Liz stayed behind. I should have done more. So when I saw you, a woman who has carved her own remarkable path, beyond even what made Liz a phenomenon, I knew I had to help you. To do right by her.
You said before that you're not like the other Zeniths. That you never were. but you went along with all of their plans.
Out of necessity. I'm not proud of it. But complicity became both when Earth was consumed and when the colony on Sirius was destroyed. I did what I had to. But I resolved to try to undo what damage I could. Hence the data channel with Beta. And the little trick I pulled to save you.
Why did you make the data channel look like your house?
I built that house as a shelter to a safe place, not just cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly, some of the greatest achievements of human...
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold. I thought if she could experience Vermeer, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing. She needed its shelter even more than I.
Why do you think Elizabeth...
I've wondered that for 1,000. She was brilliant. She cared so deeply for the world. But it also felt like she kept everyone at arm's length, and she never wanted to share her burden. I think, in the end, she had a core that she never let anyone be part of. Sometimes I wonder if anyone really knew her.
I found a recording of you and Elizabeth back in the Proving Lab after Farzineth's attempt to steal Gaia.
Yes. A most unpleasant conversation.
She said something after the call. I think she regretted how things ended between you.
Did she? All this time, thank you for telling me. I've always hated that those were the last words we ever said to each other. And that her last impression of me was as a functionary of Far Zenith, not who I truly am.
When it's time to break into the Zenith base, what can we expect?
I'll go over the full layout once you've assembled your friends. Suffice it to say, we will need to push as fast as possible to Beta and Gaia's location, dealing with heavy resistance along the way. There are also printing facilities where the others have been amassing the natural resources they've stripped from the region.
What for?
First for use in the base's infrastructure, and then to fabricate more Spectre drones, a small army of them. In addition, they've also been ferrying materials to and from. After hundreds of years luxuriating in our digital comforts, the ship was barely space-worthy when we made our escape. Disaster can strike at any moment, we've learned.
Have you figured out how Silence's weapon works?
No, and he's been very careful not to allow me near it. I'll admit it bothers me, but I am confident it will deactivate the other shields en masse.
How many of them are in the base?
10, including Eric and Gerard. Only a handful of us made it to our ship when our colony collapsed.
So, Eric... was he always a bloodthirsty psychopath?
I believe he got worse over time. On Earth, he was the founder of a profitable a band of cutthroats, in other words. Even as governments abandoned human combatants in favor of he found success with clientele that required a more personal. There were also rumors that he personally hunted and killed, all for the thrill of it. But on Sirius, he retreated to virtual reality simulations. In them, he could go on rampages though I suspect with diminishing satisfaction.
All of his tribe believes he was one of the greatest people from the old world.
Then they would be quite disappointed to meet him. Though I'm sure he'd bask in the adoration.
What can you tell me about Gerard?
He was the head of the world's largest finance, and as such, had dealings with almost every major corporation. It made him one of the wealthiest people on Earth, and certainly the wealthiest among Far Zenith.
What does one person do with that much money?
Buy more power, more influence. Gerard's always believed himself able to maintain control but beneath that exterior is a cold. It was his decision to restrict Beta's upbringing to the avatars of the Apollo database, while we were painted as her benefactors.
Well, we'll deal with him soon enough. and the others.
I would very much like to see his face when he
When I was in the ruins of Vegas, I found data on a man. I think he was a Zenith.
Stanley, ever the optimist. He was when we established our colony, he built an exact replica of Los lights, shows, gambling, and while others cloistered themselves in their own, he flung his doors wide to—
The way you're talking about him, I'm guessing he didn't make it back to Earth?
No, he perished. He would have been thrilled to discover that part of his beloved city.
When Beta escaped and hid in an ancient research facility, I saw another one of the Zeniths. Verbena. Who was she?
A dull star amidst a sea of— Unlike most of Far Zenith's members who amassed their wealth through shrewd business deals and technological, Verbena inherited her billions. Her father had achieved great success in the luxury holo— At age 24, she became the world's most eligible bachelorette, branding herself a life designer. Someone who leverages their fame to influence the choice.
What, like a cult?
In a way, yes.
Well, she must have done something right to have survived this long.
She was her own brand of ruthless. But even rats can cling to a vessel for escape.
Okay, so I've had run-ins with a handful of—
An array of the wealthiest people on Earth. Titans.
And let me guess. All self—
Most, but not all. There were a few with whom I got along. Annika Murjani, for instance, was always delightful. She founded the Holonet's most successful dance channel and was herself and I had fascinating discussions with Song Jiao about her work in cellular biology. Our immortality treatments are due in part to her. But then there were others like Devin Miller. His only real preoccupations were perfecting his golf swing. When I think about all of us, we really should have accomplished more.
Okay. I'll let you know.
I'll be here until then. And thank you, Aloy, for giving me this chance. My past has always been a more than once I've lost everything. I see Liz's dream fulfilled.
Maybe we can make it happen.
We will. I won't let anything get... I keep thinking.
Haven't seen you since—
I saw you. I would say that I am...
Thank you.
It is I who...
Look, I know you're probably not happy, but I want her on our side.
It is more than she deserved.
Thank you, Katala. Things will get ugly once the Zeniths realize we're in there. You'll need every trick you've ever learned.
I would have it no other way. Many soldiers died in the old world to make sure we will endure on their behalf. Though, I am curious how you intend to defeat without an army of our own.
Leave that to me. Just make sure you're ready.
As you say. You have more.
Remind me what we...
Gaia said...
Got it. Did you meet Tilda?
There is something about her that I wouldn't be surprised if my sword went through her and...
Honestly, with her, nothing would surprise me. Your people keep mentioning the wings.
And for us, it... And so...
Oh, well.
I can...
I have to go.
Understood.
So, you return. Bravo. You managed to sway a Zenith to your side.
Not a chance. I thought you said the weapon was ready.
There's always room to optimize. But that's not why you're here. I assume you want to comprehend my undertakings. So, ask away.
Since when were you so forthcoming?
Since you turned this into a waiting game. And as it seems you have found modest success.
Okay, so your big plan, everything you've been manipulating for the— Let me see if I got this straight. You learned about the Zeniths from Hades when you interrogated it. Then you came up with a plan to defeat them by using a Tenakth army and that weapon. And to get the Tenakth to fight for you, or rather the Sons of Prometheus, armed Regalla's rebels with override tech.
Did you have an actual question, or are you still playing catch-up?
So all this time, even before you were out here scheming, why couldn't you just tell me?
When I learned of the Zenith's return to Earth, I laid out my plans. I knew I would one day require an army of overzealous to assault the Zenith base. And I knew you would never allow such a sacrifice no matter how. Thus, I devised a means to remove your interference at the Hades Proving Lab.
Why create the Sons of— You didn't need a bunch of Oseram tinkerers to make—
They were a necessary safeguard. The Eclipse demonstrated the risks of getting directly involved. Through the Sons of Prometheus, I could all while remaining anonymous.
Tell me about the weapon.
I've upgraded the delivery system. It now emits a wave-like effect covering a significant distance.
That doesn't fully answer—
No, but I'd be a fool to— After all, why did you withhold your plan for dealing with the Zenith drones? Yes, even you can appreciate the value of secrecy. Suffice it to say that the weapon will work. The intricacies of how—
You wanted me to surrender to the Zenith at the Hades Proving Lab. They own—
Based on everything I knew about them, I concluded they would find you a useful asset, thereby keeping you out of harm's way, and more importantly—
So you really didn't know they had their own clone of Elizabeth?
No. Unfortunately, there was no way I could have known that.
Detail? Well, I guess if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here today. Why help Regalla take over? If you wanted an army—
Before Regalla's rebellion, battling machines and fostering friendships with even if I gained his ear, he would never agree to send his forces to battle a threat he couldn't understand.
So helping a bloodthirsty—
Yes. All Regalla craved was war against the Carja, and she would have led the tribe into battle without question, which was precisely what I needed.
While I was out there, I had a couple run-ins with the Quen.
The tribe from across the—
Their entire tribe was shaped around the discovery of— One of them, Alva, even joined— Don't you want to know more about them?
No. They from the ancient world, and what did they do with it? They shrouded the knowledge they unearthed in mysticism and creating a pantheon out of corporate—
Yes, well, it also led them to—
Did it now?
Why help—
Battling, even if he wouldn't— Yeah, she would, which was—
So those run-ins, on one of them I teamed up with their expedition. We found Pharaoh at the end.
You must have needed Omega clearance. So, what was it like?
Worse than you can imagine.